husband starts calling Gilles Duceppe mon amour, you know it's been too long.
With humor and compassion.
Helping women and children find refuge from violence.
And 3 young children in tow. Sophie Gregoire-Trudeau has been a force in her husband's bid to become Prime Minister. Earlier this week, she joined me in our studio overlooking Parliament Hill to reflect on her first campaign and what the future might hold. Welcome to Question Period. Now, Ms. Gregoire-Trudeau, if your husband becomes Prime Minister, and it's a possibility on Monday, your life is going to be changed forever in a very, very public way. Are you ready for it?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of speculation. There's still a little but a long way to go, and we won't take one vote for granted. And we're almost there, but there's so much more work to be done. Our lives are going to change. It's true if it happens. But we've had these discussions, together, Justin and I, and with the kids, and around us will change, but within, we'll stay who we are. And actually, that's one of the most important things in life generally, is whatever you go through, you stay true to who you are and your core values. So it's not a worry that I have.
Well, let me ask you about policy decisions, because you're not just the homemaker, the mother who's taking care of the children. I know that you have an important role involved in your husband's life. What about policy decisions? For example, I know you care deeply about a Royal Commission on missing and Aboriginal women. So what influences do you have on your husband's policies?
Well, that's a good question, because I've had my own issues that I've put forward and I've been an advocate for the past 12, 13 years. And many of them are really focused on women's issues, self-esteem in young women, eating disorders, and everything that has to do with our missing and murdered Aboriginal women. So, of course, these are discussions that my husband Justin and I have, at the table when we're together. But I don't direct his policy. He's got a team of experts from, across the country, from coast to coast to coast, that he's working with. So I don't think it is my role to direct his policy decisions. That is his work, his choices. But does it mean that we don't have the conversations that are at the, I would say, core of the decisions? Yes, we do, as human beings and as partners, because we're obviously shoulder to shoulder on this great journey, and I'm there with him, and we're partners on this, on this path. So we talk about everything, but I'm not there to tell him what to decide on which policy.
Now, we know in the United States, First Ladies often champion causes. Michelle Obama, it's been obesity, particularly amongst poor children. Lorraine Harper has taken up the cause of the Humane Society. Is there any special issue that you would like to champion?
Well, as I've said in the past years myself, as a public speaker and as a woman and as a mother, I've put forward many of my thoughts and efforts and volunteer efforts to be able to work with groups that empower women. So gender equality, women and self-esteem, eating disorders, anything that has to do with women's issues and children really is so close to my heart, and everything that has to do with First Nations and missing and murdered Aboriginal women. And for me, whatever path and whatever happens with the election, I will continue on that path. And obviously, if we are honored enough to have Canadians give us their trust, I will push that even more forward.
Now, your husband grew up in 24 Sussex.
Yeah.
In a very intense media environment. You're going to get that if you win. You're getting it now, but it'll be even more so. How do you protect your children from it in a way? Because I know that sometimes it bothered him as well.
But you know what? We're lucky. We live in Canada. If we were living in the States, I'm sure it would be very different. All the media attention that we would get in the private, part of our lives. We're pretty lucky. I have a normal life every day. I wake up, in the morning and, walk the kids to school and then make the lunches with them, and then they off to school and off I go and take my walks. Obviously,
but
yes.
the RCMP will with you.
That's it. But the RCMP has been so kind and warm and amazing to us that's not a worry that I have. But, you're right. The kids will have different surroundings, and they ask us questions, and I answer them honestly. And then again, we tell them things around us will change, but, inside we'll still be the same people, and we'll still, cuddle in bed on a Saturday morning when it's possible, and just be real and authentic and grounded. And that is so important to keep this on this journey. And I think that we are great partners to be able to keep that.
Let me ask you about that, because you know that his father and his mother, because of a lot of the tensions doing with the jobs of being prime minister, where you're way along a lot of the time, you know, there were strains in their relationship, and you must have discussed there are going to be strains if you win. How do you make sure that you stay, you know, as a loving couple?
Well, you've just said it, a loving couple. I think that honesty and communication in a couple is key, and we have that. So, you know, life is not one straight line, and how you grow out of adversity is really, I think, a reflection of who you are and who you can become. And there are always ways to make things work. And the past years, I mean, you know, Justin has been away from the house a lot, and it hasn't always been easy, but we're so strong. And this is just the beginning of our journey. Wherever Canadians decide to bring us, we are there to be together and be strong and be shoulder to shoulder and to embrace life together.
Now, Justin Trudeau has had a lot of attack ads against him since he became leader. You know, he's a political lightweight. He's a pothead. He wants brothels on every corner. A lot of this stuff it's personal. And how do you feel about it? And how does it make you feel? And how do you get over it?
Well, you know, it's not really personal, because you learn to distance yourself from the criticism, and the values that are at the core of what we're doing here, whether it's, you know, with the Liberal Party of Canada, or us as a couple, or us as a family, and us as parents to our 3 children, we share all of that is really encompassed by the same values of respect, honesty, and self-respect. And I think that, you know, adversity once again can make you grow stronger. And the lessons that we are teaching our children are lessons that we hope we are putting into action in our everyday life. Because whatever you tell children, it can all be words, but it is in your action, and they feed off that as well. I don't know if you've seen our kids in actions in public events, but they're pretty calm, and they ask us, yeah, but what do we do when there's so many people around us and there's so much noise? And they feed off our energy. And inside, we're calm and we're peaceful, with our surroundings. And we have taught our children that meanness will bring you nowhere in life. So when there is meanness around us, I think it's not a trick, a way to be, is to send out even more love and hope and optimism.
Okay, let me ask you one final question. What is the quality that you see in Justin Trudeau that we may not see from the public?
You know, he's a very, very well-balanced human being. His mind, his heart. There is no inner conflict. He is a great listener and a true leader in his own personality. This is not a role that he's taking. He is being himself throughout this journey. And I think that balance between great mind and loving, open heart is one recipe to unite a lot of people on one great mission that we're on. And we'll see where Canadians will bring us.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.